Back again with another Tales of the Lone Wolf. 3 reasons why the lone wolf won't be a leader. When I worked for the correctional services, managers would approach me regularly in my first 5 years to step up to management. Freya, you'd make such a great leader. So, yeah, I took a stab at this management role to prove to them how great I would be. But instead, I hated it. It was a role that I actually didn't feel comfortable with. I wasn't interested in managing a staff of other probation officers. I wanted to be the one making a bigger difference, which was helping my clients live a better quality life. I had to ask myself, why do you want this position? Why do you want to lead? Here's my list of the 3 reasons why I would never make a good leader. Lone Wolf edition. First of all, lone wolf empaths do not like to be in charge of other people. Although I was approached to take a management position, and I even decided to take a stab at it, in the end, this was the worst position for me to hold. Although it's true, I was seen as an excellent leader. What they mistook that for was actually a teacher. Lone wolf empaths are more likely to be healers, teachers, mentors, coaches, but not the kind of teacher that has to teach from a book or a pre-made curriculum. They're teaching from their own life experience, which in many professions is not allowed. You have to teach from the policy and procedural manual. I always preferred to have a level of autonomy over any work that I did and didn't want to be responsible for the work of anyone else, just me. I would much rather lead a caseload of 50 high-risk clients than an office of 20 complaining and grievance filing probation officers. What I do now is even better because the people that I help, I get to choose who I work with, and I get to choose my own hours and what projects I want to work on with no policy and procedure manual to tell me how I'm supposed to operate. I learned that the team I was best at leading was a team of one. Number 2, the lone wolf empath cannot be a leader because it drains too much of their energy. Being a leader requires a lone wolf to have too many meetings, interactions, and added responsibilities that require them to extrovert themselves in a way that I didn't have the capacity for. Because I was too sensitive to the emotions of other people, which you'd think is a good thing. Doesn't everyone want to have someone with high empathy in a leadership role? At the time I took on this role, my boundaries sucked. And so I was a huge people pleaser. By the end of my position, I had gone in the other direction and started to become insensitive and cold and couldn't wait until my contract ended. What I'm saying here is that lone wolf empaths are going to struggle with boundaries. They are going to struggle with people pleasing, and their leadership may suffer as a result. Being in the leadership role exposed me to the incompetence, dishonesty, and hidden agendas of other people and the organization even more. I saw this already, but now it was confirmed. And sometimes I'd rather stay ignorant to certain truths. I operate from a strong level of values and ethics. I guess a leader needs to be there to help people who struggle to operate within such frameworks and to be told what is acceptable and what isn't. Now I'm on my own quality control, and if something isn't working, then I'm the only one who has to pay the price for that. Number 3, as a leader, you'll have to fit in with other leaders. Although it could be argued that I would make an excellent leader. However, conventional society would not be interested in my leadership style because it comes with some unconventional practices. I'm all about leading by way of example, leading indirectly by being a role model that people can either choose to be inspired by or not. I guess what I'm saying is I'd go the inspired leader route, but my route still is not traditional, nor is it the preferred route that companies would be looking for. I think of inspired leaders as being authors, musicians, visual artists, filmmakers, producers, fashion designers, maybe even thought leaders, people who just speak their mind, say whatever they want. They're leaving their mark on society without the need to be a leader per se. The only thing they will lead is the path for other lone wolves to lead themselves. And in order to do that, I've learned requires a certain level of inner authority, inner trust. So instead of being an authority over others, mastering the authority that you lead yourself with.